Alright, this is it. This is a story I've been needing to tell for a really long time, and I've just been afraid. So this is me being vulnerable and putting myself out there because I know this is a story that needs to be told. And if I can just help one person who's questioning or who's not happy and they're not sure why, then this video will have done its purpose. So I was a Mormon my entire life, born and raised in the church, in a big Mormon family. My mom had 9 children, and growing up we went to church every Sunday. We had like a family lesson on Sunday evenings. We couldn't do anything on Sundays except for read your scriptures, pray, maybe visit family. Monday evening we had a family home evening where you all sit around and have another church lesson. And then all through the week, family scriptures and prayer in the mornings. If we had time before school, my mom always tried to make time, and family scriptures and prayer in the evenings. As you got older, you attended things like seminary and institute and youth activities in the evenings with fellow church members. So it was really a sort of all-encompassing religion. But besides all of that study time, prayer, scripture, lessons, church, it was more than that. The church was not just something that we did, it was a part of you. It was your whole life. It was the reason that you are alive. It is and was everything to me. The church determined every decision that I made in my life, from the friends that I had to the boys that I dated to where I would go to college, what I would wear when I woke up in the morning. It really was all-consuming. But beyond all of the teachings that I was surrounded with growing up, there were also spiritual experiences. And if you ask anyone in any religion if they have had a spiritual witness that their church is true, then you will see this sort of spiritual, emotional event that people talk about. In Mormonism, we were encouraged to not only find out if it was true just the one time, but to be continuously trying and seeking out those spiritual experiences. Anytime that you had an emotional experience that was really profound and really moving and really just powerful, made you cry, made you feel love for your fellow humans, all of those moments the church sort of took ownership of by saying that all these experiences that you have in your life are proof that the church is true. We had a meeting once a month. It was fast and testimony meeting where anyone in the congregation could get up to the podium and share those spiritual experiences and moments that proved the church was true. One of the most common catchphrases that people said in these meetings is, "I know the church is true." So it was kind of like your entire testimony and data bank of spiritual experiences was all proof that the Mormon church was true. And I think that's a really powerful tool that they have, that they're using, that they don't realize they even have. It's really taking away from these people their ability to find out what their emotional experiences mean. So like most members, I had had tons of these experiences throughout my childhood and upbringing that I just knew the church was true. There's also scriptures and things that say once you have an experience, you can never deny that you know the church is true now. So this is one of the most powerful sort of anchors that Mormons have that's holding them in, and it's kind of impossible to grow up surrounded with all of this, with all these experiences and all these teachings, and having your entire life encompassed with this, to question everything that is normal in your life. Why would you question everything that you know to be real? It's really almost impossible for somebody in these environments to step out and to wonder if they're in the matrix. People don't realize just how much their environment and their upbringing and all of these things play into their entire infrastructure of their reality. So to step out and to question everything around you that's been accepted as normal, that's just weird. That's like conspiracy thinking. It's not something that's easy to do, to step out and to say, wait a second, is this just social pressure and social influence and things that were given to me, or is this all real? But on top of all of this social pressure, pressure from the community, pressure from the experiences that you've had that you would never doubt. The reason that Mormons are extremely wary of outside information actually stems from our history. And this is the part that everything hinges on right here. So just to give you a little background on Mormon history, basically we were taught that Joseph Smith was just an innocent 14-year-old boy who saw a vision of God, and then he was trying to start this religion that God told him to start. And for some reason, he had all of these enemies and people who were just ticked off at him, angry mobs wanting to just destroy him and to destroy the church. And as a member, we had no idea why these people were so upset at Joseph Smith and so upset about his church, to the point of kicking the members out of their homes, coming in, destroying property, and eventually leading to the death of the prophet Joseph Smith at Carthage jail. The early members of the church were cast out of their homes, sent away from place to place, and ended up having to travel way out west, where they finally settled in Utah. But these stories of our ancestors are just devastating. Traveling west was just one of the most difficult things you could imagine doing at the time, in these covered wagons with hardly any supplies, and their children dying by the wayside and having to bury them in these frozen ground. So you can see how growing up with this as our history, there's a huge sense of sort of bitterness and anger toward the people who cast us out. There's a sense that outsiders don't like us. There's a sense that people are fighting against the church. And this definitely passed down from generation to generation, this sense of us versus the outside world. But I really want to emphasize that the most important and significant part of this story that we were taught is that we believed all of this happened just because people were angry at Joseph Smith for seeing a vision and for starting the church that God wanted him to start. So when you find out the real reason that Joseph Smith kept getting in trouble with the law and that his church was getting cast out, it really changes everything. And this is the part that everything hinges on right here. Throughout my entire upbringing in the church, I had always been taught preset arguments that you should say to someone anytime they brought up unsettling information about our history. So we were sort of prepared to know and understand that people didn't like Joseph Smith. People had a bunch of stuff to say about the history of the church, but without actually telling us what that unsettling information was. They gave us preset arguments to defend and to deflect the unsettling information. So all my life I had grown up knowing, oh, there's all this misinformation about Joseph Smith out there and I need to defend it. But I had never actually found out what that unsettling information was. Growing up as a member, you only hear the church's version of these historic events. And you just don't question it. It's just your reality. It's just what is. And your leaders telling you, please don't listen to any of this outside information. Here are the preset arguments that you have to keep you safe from outside attacks. It's really hard for a member to trust outside information, to be willing to be open-minded and to look at the story and to want to even find out what actually happened, because you think that what happened is exactly how they told you it happened. You know, they told us the history and we believed it. So hopefully this video helps you understand the firewall that you can create around your beliefs that makes it difficult for you to learn other information that may be contradicting your beliefs but may also be true. This happens to a lot of people with a lot of different belief systems. When you grow up being taught one thing and then you find out that it's actually a different way, it's very difficult and it takes a lot of courage to be able to step out and to question what you know and your knowledge, and to be able to learn outside information, to learn truth. So in the next few videos, you will find out exactly what the Mormon Church is keeping from its members, and I think you'll understand why. So hope to see you in the next video, and thanks so much for watching.